So I'm interested to know, maybe we'll start with you, Anthony. Like, how long did it take for you to get it, for you to be ready to do something like 12 steps? And what, from your experience, working with other people, is it something that they get straight away? Do people walk into their first AA meeting and then they're on their journey to recovery? Or is it very much, do you take steps backwards before you take your 12th step forward, so to speak?
Well, what's interesting is on the topic of it doesn't work for anyone, and I was just sat there listening and thinking, and this is what's interesting. I went into treatment nearly 11 and a half years ago or something. When I landed an ECR, Sonia, you was 3 years, so about 11 years I make it. And here's the thing. The thing is with AA is you've got a group of people in there from all walks of life, all ages, all such a varied people, and there's no set of targets you have to meet to understand the steps. There's no professional kind of hierarchy and who's better at the steps, and it's a kind of free-for-all of other people teaching other people. So when you go in and say, well, I didn't get it the first time, I don't think that's an accurate way to say it. I think you really need to pick apart what's gone on in each individual case. Now, for example, when I went into treatment, like Lester said, ECR was a 12-step recovery treatment centre. And if I was to throw a number out there, it was probably 80% plus people working the 12 steps that were in recovery. And we was encouraged as part of our treatment package to go to meetings as from day dot. I think 3 a week we averaged, if not more, and pretty much the 12 steps became a working part of our day in different ways, as well as therapy and stuff like that. So it was you were confronted with it. And so to answer your question, how long did it take me to get it? It took me as long as it was confronted to me in the right way, with the right people understanding the information and bringing me up, meeting me where I was at. Now, here's the interesting thing. When they said last night that it doesn't work for everyone, here's the interesting thing. As we sit here, Lester, you're like, 30 odd years, completely sober, and always work in the AA program, and it's a working part of your life. And the same with you, Sonia, 13, 14 years.
16.
Now, 16 years. Wow, so that's 12 years ago, something. But the thing is, I don't sit here with 12 years behind me, nowhere near. Because the thing is, I had 6 years where I was immersed into recovery, like Sonia and Lester. And then here's the interesting thing. This program and way of life and community, because I really like what they said in there last night, community that runs 24 hours a day wherever you are in the world, where you can go with like-minded people. And I think that was a really key word, community. But so here's this way of life, this program, this group of people, this tribe, this community, all with the same need and agenda to try and live not just neutral from alcohol, but productive, happy, and relatively nice lives. That's what we want, isn't it? So about a month before I went travelling, I thought, I'm all right, I don't need to go to meetings. And here's the thing, after 6 years of being fully immersed into it and being 100% neutral, neither tempted nor judging, being neutral, even attending events and people were drinking around me, and I was just neutral about it. It 100% worked because my effort matched what was required to bring into fruition the results. And that within a month of getting on that plane, I stopped going, I stopped calling my sponsor, and before I had even left Heathrow and landed in Bangkok, I'd had a glass of whiskey in my hand. So that, to me, is enough proof that it's not does it work, it's unfailing. It's how much I'm willing to put in the effort. And initially, it is a lot of work, but after that, it's still a bit of work, but it's nowhere near it, isn't it? When you initially come in, it's a great deal of work, but after a while, it just becomes a working part of your life. And in some ways, it becomes, I don't want to say fun, but it becomes a real joy, becomes a sense of like purpose. It does. So there's the thing, is that I stopped working it, and it's like my mind needed to be working that program to keep me in a fit spiritual condition, as it says in the book. So my mind doesn't go back to wanting to, as they said last night, take the pressures off reality.